Hello, my name is Maria Schmitz. The hero of today's story is Alicia Mackenzie, a schoolmate 3 years my junior, and whom I had the pleasure of meeting at the Frankfurt Book Fair some years ago. The message is that in the Caribbean, aunties aren't just people who are your relatives, they're anyone older than you that you have a lot of respect for and who shows up for you when you need them. Not calling your aunts and uncles by their first names reflects some level of power distance in the island, a level of formality that is not customary in Northern Europe. An older cousin of mine wrote in her memoir that both her parents had 10 siblings each, so that she had 20 aunts and uncles straight away. American born artist Chris is forced to reconsider his conception of family during a visit to his mother's Caribbean homeland. One of our main characters, Chris, is a painter, like the author, and has recently lost someone he loves to a terrible event. To cope with his loss, he goes to Jamaica, his mother's homeland, which he hasn't or hadn't visited since she passed. In Jamaica, he stays with Miss Della, Auntie D, his agent's mother-like figure. We later find out that his agent, Stephen, has lost his parents to a tragic event, and Miss Della has become a firm presence in his life. She slowly becomes a supportive presence in Chris's life too, through their early morning yoga stretches and outings. These three characters show up in each chapter frequently, and we get to know them not only through their own perspectives but from other characters that surround them as well. For example, one chapter is narrated by Chris's father, who fought in the Vietnam War, and another is told by Miss Pretty, Auntie Dee's neighbor, who wears a fur coat no matter what the weather is like. By the end of the story, we don't get a concrete conclusion to these people's sorrows, but rather a food for thought when thinking about grief and how a community of people can support each other through it. The story takes place against the backdrop of rural Jamaica, New York City, and Paris, France. The author herself has lived in the United States, Belgium, Britain, and Singapore. Told from several points of view, Mackenzie weaves a tale of family that goes beyond blood and homes that extend beyond birthplaces. We meet a cast of characters linked together by friendship, family, or circumstance. What becomes very clear early on is that it truly takes a village to raise a fully functioning human, and despite same, this task of growth extends beyond our dependent, childish years. The story speaks of the theme of home quite strongly, where all is not perfect, but just being in a familiar place is security enough. Readers particularly love all of the food references, which have a predominant place in Mackenzie's narratives: breadfruit, mangoes, guineps, naisebris, stew peas and rice, peppery curry goat, ackee and saltfish, are regularly partaken throughout other books as well. One of the author's nieces writes, "I liked the fact that Auntie Alicia chose to write this book the way she did. It almost read like self care. You know," she says, "when you're having a bad time and you feel like it's only happening to you, but then you realize that pretty much everyone is struggling too. Then you feel better about life, that you're not alone." This book reassured her, she says, of that by letting her peer into a few lives of some folk who, like her, are trying to get their lives together or just live through the cards they're dealt. She definitely recommends this book for those in reading slumps or feeling in need of some self care. And now, if anyone enjoys character driven multicultural fiction, you're going to want to get your hands on this book as soon as possible.